GM, the life coach.
Hi there, I'm GM, the life coach. You can find me on Spotify, speaker.com, YouTube, all over the place, Facebook, Instagram. Search me out. I also will be doing sessions, one-to-one sessions. So if you need advice, coaching or mentoring, I'm available for sessions, and you can check my my website out. That's the life coach.business.site. Check me out. Book a time. Give me a call, and we can talk to each other. Okay. My aim is to get everybody to talk, and talk more about how they're feeling, what's been happening, what's going on. So I wanted to come in here. It's basically a bonus. I'm going to do a few bonus sessions for my podcast. I saw an article on Facebook, as it goes, about knife crime rise linked to youth service cuts, and it's supposed to be a parliamentary report. It says some councils are finding out that youth workers in the clubs, by 91% and are shot by 91%. That's what they're saying. The figures show. So they're saying basically 91% of these places have been cut. People have cut their money. The government's cut their money. So it obviously shows a rise in knife crime. Now, my thing is, it's taken how many years for these people to actually, admit and come out with, the fact that the cut in resources is actually a attributing factor. They've always blamed it on parents, they blame it on schools, they blame it on all sorts of different things for these young men being on the street and causing each other harm. And I just think that it's just ridiculous. I mean, even years ago when I used to be in youth service, you could see that our hands were tied in terms of what we could even do with the kids and taking them places and doing stuff. And that was 10, 11 years ago. And since then, obviously 6 years, 6 years ago, they started to do a lot of more cuts where, basically they shut down they've moved a lot of the youth workers. There's a lot less money in youth service. So now you're basically if you do it, you're doing it almost as a charity situation, before people used to do it with pride. Now, they probably still do it with pride, but it's not, there's no real big money. Even I was a part-timer. I used to work on a youth development project, and I used to, have kids used to come to me, and we used to, it's like a safe place to come. And we'd, at that place we were doing music, dance and film, and giving them a place to go, giving them a place to just chill out, even if it was just for, 2 hours and a half, they could come and chill and talk about their stories and, try and get some education. So we used to educate them about, music, dance and drama and film. And it was just a glorious time of my life. And it showed me a lot about, what I could do with myself, and, taught me that actually I could be somebody who could, help people and lead people and most of all listen. Because that's one thing that we don't get to do as human beings. We don't always get to listen. And so my thing is just, I'm very much shocked that they're only just putting this out. So I'm going to read some of the report. This is from The Independent. It says, rising knife crime could be linked to budget cuts that have disseminated youth services in parts of England, according to a parliamentary report. The average council has reduced spending on services such as social clubs and youth workers by 40%, and some places have seen funding plummet by 91% in 3 years. Months after The Independent was warned of a lost generation of children being created by austerity and gangs, MP said young people were being put at risk of violence. So they've already, people have already warned this from before and already said to people, look, guys, we need to look at this. But again, it's like they don't care. And they won't care until it happens in rich neighborhoods where, people start getting shot, killed and robbed, and, affecting those families. That's when they'll make a move. That's the only time they make a move. So I'll read on. Chair Sarah Jones said, "We cannot hope to turn around the knife crime epidemic if we don't invest in our young people." Every time I speak to young people, they say the same thing. They need more positive activities, safe spaces to spend time with, friends and programs to help them grow and develop. And this is what I was just saying. That's what we were all about. Education of self, education of other subjects around them as well. So I'll read on. Our figures show in areas where support for young people has been cut most, they are more at risk of violence. Youth services cannot be a nice to have. Our children's safety must be our number one priority. And I just don't understand why you need somebody to tell you that. That should be your cornerstone. If you are a politician and, you get voted in by the people, that should be your cornerstone. That should be one of the things that you actually have to safeguard young people. And that means make sure they have a flourishing education system where all abilities can flourish, all abilities can show their worth. Not just, can you remember, the questions and the answers at the end of your 5 years of examinations. They've taken away a lot of things that helps young people to be more well-rounded and can communicate well, and thus impacting on jobs and interview skills and all that sort of stuff. And a lot of schools have to cut back now as well. So it's not just youth service, it's the schools. They can't send kids out to do the things they would normally do. They have to be quite, economic and, really think about the bottom line before they think about the kids, which is just horrendous. So, the kids have to make it up by themselves. They have to, to the death, make a bridge, so to speak, because they're not getting what they need. So now they're going to be, out on the roads and standing outside the chicken shops and want to be in each other's face, repping ends they don't own, and listen to their drill music. And as we've spoken about in podcasts from before, the music, the education and the others, the other stuff that takes them away from all that, the youth work and the very important stuff that they could have, the counselling or the whatever, it's just not there. There's also a lot of kids who are in fear as well. So they are picking up a knife and picking up guns, and they're simply because they're they're in fear. And some of them get into this sort of stuff out of fear and anxiety over what can happen to them. Who's gonna slander their name and so on and so forth. And I've seen kids who, I had a conversation with someone last year, and they were saying that it's only dysfunctional families that have kids who are into gangs or into anything untoward. And I had to almost set them straight. Now I've seen kids with two parents. The parents are good jobs, doing what they need to do. Everything's all there. They come to every single meeting, every single parents' evening and so forth. Very, called up the school. How's my daughter? How's my son? Very much involved in their kid's life, but yet their kid has decided that they don't want that. They want a new family or a new set of friends, or they just want to be cool. And this is what people are underestimating, that the power of trying to be cool, the power of wanting some stripes, so to speak, on their shoulders. And if you are a quiet kid, you won't necessarily stay quiet. You actually want to be a top dog, get some recognition, someone actually, looking up to you, and revering you. And so you go from, seemingly the bottom of the class to the, at least liked and top of the class, at least, in their eyes. And they might do some really bad things to do that. It might not necessarily turn out to be killing or shooting somebody, but it might necessarily just be by making someone look stupid on Snapchat, and then that person gets angry, and then that person wants to get that person back, and then it goes on and on and on and on and on. And these are simple things that we need to be thinking about when it comes to young people. There's not a lot of counselling. You have to get referred either through the school, and hope that the school's got the resources to even take that on. And obviously they have to be referred through their GP. And a lot of kids that are suffering don't want to tell anybody that they're suffering from anything, so they keep it to themselves. Thus, making the situation worse, because, behavior beats behavior, right? So then if the one kid's not talking, then another kid will tell another kid, actually don't say anything, because we all look kind of vulnerable. And the whole point of my podcast is about talking and, talking about uncomfortable issues, and we might talk about some fun stuff as well. But these young people, they just don't have the communication skills, because in a lot of time they're not heard. They don't feel that they're not heard. They're not listened to. They're not taken seriously. So they're out on the road, making sure that they're taken seriously by at least their own peers. It's such a sad situation. So I'm the life coach. I just wanted to do a bonus thing on that. We're going to be doing some more about parenting and young people, the effect of young people in social media affecting them and their mental health. So have a look out for that. And we've also got a journeys series as well coming out. So if you're watching this in lieu, then you probably already heard it. If you haven't, then look out for it, please. Again, we're on Spotify, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Spreaker.com, hopefully SoundCloud, and maybe even Mixcloud. So you got no excuse to listen to the GM Life Coach podcast. Anyway, take care. Thanks for listening. And if anything rings true with you, or you feel like you'd like to be on the podcast, then contact me through my social media outlets. And like I always say, let's talk. All right. Take care. Bye.
GM, the life coach. Only on Spreaker.com, YouTube, Spotify, and all other outlets. Like, share, and subscribe now.